Hi, and welcome back to the Shoulder Guide. My name is Tony Maritato. I'm a licensed physical therapist, and I want to have a little fun today. I found this article behind me on the screen, Treating and Managing Shoulder Pain from Healthline. Now, what's great about this article is that it is reviewed by a licensed physical therapist. I want to go through a couple of the topics on this and just share my input. I think they did a great job. I think certainly there's a lot more that could be put into this, but we only have a limited amount of time, so I understand why they chose what they chose. The first thing is these are home remedies for a sore shoulder. Now, it doesn't discuss why the shoulder is sore. It's just one of those deals you wake up and you're like, my shoulder is bugging me. What can I do? Certainly over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medication. Now, obviously, this has to be approved by your physician. You have to make sure that there's no gastrointestinal issues or complications that would limit your ability to take an over-the-counter anti-inflammatory. I am not able to prescribe anything like this or recommend anything like this, but it is obviously one of the most common ways that individuals deal with a sore shoulder. Cold compress, this is probably one of my favorites. You just put an ice pack on the shoulder. The ice, we'll call it cryotherapy, is really intended to provide altered sensation. So while ice doesn't do what we always claimed it doesn't necessarily reduce swelling. It certainly doesn't reduce inflammation. It does probably reduce pain in the right person. So if you appreciate the sensation of cold and that gives you relief from the sensation of pain, then absolutely using cold therapy is a great option. It's low cost, it's low risk, easy to use, and most people will have some version of this around the house. You could use a bag of peas, frozen peas. You can use some ice water in a Ziploc bag, or if you have a genuine gel pack, that's a great way to do it. One of probably the least common scenarios here that we use in the clinic quite a bit, but I don't see individuals using at home, is actually compression. So using something like an ACE bandage or some sort of elastic stretchy strap, basically what you're doing is you're wrapping it around the shoulder. Now, usually we'll do compression with ice. So we'll put the ice pack on the shoulder and then wrap the ACE wrap around it to provide that stability. The compression does great. Now, I will say that the compression does reduce swelling because of the mechanical compressive force. I don't think pretty much anything except medication reduces inflammation because inflammation is a chemical property, but compression alone or compression with ice does tend to help the majority of the people that I see in my clinic dealing with non-traumatic shoulder or joint pain. So usually you would do compression and ice or compression alone for anywhere between 10 to 15, a maximum of 20 minutes, and you can repeat it multiple episodes a day. Certainly heat therapy for the right person is a great option. My mom, bless her heart, had severe osteoarthritis in her shoulder, and when that would flare up, she would love to put a moist heat pack on there or even dry heat using a heating pad that she bought at the local pharmacy. Either of those were great options. The concern with heat is that the skin is more tolerant to cold than it is to heat. So you have to really monitor the temperature and make sure that you're not causing damage to the skin. Probably one of the most common injuries we see happening in the physical therapy clinic is somebody getting burned because of a hot pack that's been on too long or is just too hot. You rarely see injuries associated with an ice pack or a gel pack. So just be aware, heat can be relaxing, heat can be soothing. It can certainly change the sensation around the shoulder joint, but there is the risk of tissue damage if it's on at too high of an intensity or for too long. Muscle relaxants. Now, once again, we're talking to your physician. You would never take prescription muscle relaxants without them being prescribed specifically for you. But I will tell you, at least in my experience in the clinic, most of my patients will tell me that the muscle relaxer makes them sleepy, makes them drowsy, helps them at night, but doesn't necessarily cure the problem. And I don't know that it's ever intended to be a cure rather than a tool to help you get past the acute onset of pain. Pain medication, the jury is out. There's certainly a time and a place for it, but this is something that has to be discussed with your physician or your surgeon, because there are far more complicating factors when we're talking about what kind of medication you should be doing, how long you should do it, what the goal and the intent of the pain medication is. And then, of course, rest and activity modification. I think that's a great option if your shoulder is sore. Generally speaking, once you rule out any chance of serious injury, harm, or damage, you might rest it for a day or two. You might change the way you're doing things for a day or two, but typically we want to stay active. We want to alter the way we're doing things, not stop everything that we're doing. In the article, they talk about a couple shoulder exercises. On this YouTube channel, you can find examples of some of these exercises. The pendulum is a great exercise to just work on relaxing the shoulder, improve circulation, get the synovial fluid kind of washing over the joint surfaces. I'm not particularly a fan of overhead stretching, especially for an acute sore shoulder. I think that's great when your shoulder's feeling well, but if you have something going on in the shoulder and you're not quite sure what's causing it, aggressive stretching of any kind, in my book, would not be the best thing to do. Certainly, overhead stretching would not be my option of choice. And then, of course, when do you see the doctor? That's the main question. These days, it's harder and harder to get an appointment to see a doctor, let alone a surgeon or a specialist. So a couple of things that they mentioned, which I agree with. If the pain is not getting better, once you've rested, once you've changed activity, once you've tried a couple of things, going past 48 hours, certainly going past a week, if the pain's not getting better or if the pain is getting more intense, it's time to seek professional advice. And if you can't get in to see your physician, you might try direct access to a physical therapist. While the physical therapist might not be able to diagnose you specifically, they could give you some practical real-world experience and some recommendations on what you can try. If it's a repeated problem, something that's just recurring and keeps coming back up, you might want to see a professional. Stiffness, so they're saying if you can't lift or rotate your arm normally, I'm going to preface that with if it's stiffness lasting more than 48 hours, weakness, again, lasting more than 48 hours, or if it's something that you might believe is neurologic in origin, so it's not necessarily just that your muscle hurts and you can't do something with your arm, but you feel that you don't have the same control over the arm, maybe because there's some nerve involvement. Certainly you want to get that assessed. And then, of course, if there's reason to believe that it might be separated or dislocated, typically that's going to involve some sort of trauma. Maybe you fell or the dog went racing after a bunny rabbit and yanked on the leash, which pulled on your arm unexpectedly, that kind of stuff. So there's more within the article. I want you guys, I'll link to the article down below in this description. But my ultimate goal for everybody finding this channel, tuning in, is one, I hope that I provide enough value that you subscribe to the channel so that you can post questions in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer your questions, and you can always visit our Facebook group, the shoulder rotator cuff repair support group for kind people. It's one of the few kind of non-abrasive groups on Facebook that really is intended to help you find information that you're looking for. So guys, I wish you the best. I hope this video was helpful. Like it and subscribe if it is, and I'll catch you on the next one.